Shout out Near Falls with D Hall's podcast.
Welcome to Near Falls with D Hall. He's talking on bars and how they win it all. Yeah, it's just Near Falls with D Hall. The final takedown, the glory or the fall. So loosen up, step on in, wrestle with the need to win. Talking Near Falls with D Hall. Ready or not, he's here to brawl.
And we are live. Back again for another episode of Near Falls in the WPIAL. It's your boy D Hall. And my man making his return, Marky Cass. How are you, sir?
D Hall. It's always a pleasure. Been a couple weeks, but we're back. We're back in the swing of it. Happy to be on with you. I know people may think I haven't been here a while, but you and I talk every freaking day about what's going on. So it's good to be back out here for the fans and the coaches, the wrestlers. We enjoy doing this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got two fantastic guests due to come on the show today. Junior 114-pounder Nick McGarity from Peters Township, the champ over there at Midwinter Mayhem. Super excited to talk to him about that championship. And then over on the other side of the city where you were at this weekend, Kaz, the WCCA Westmoreland County tournament, Norwin goes out and gets the first title in school history. Super pumped up to talk to Coach Kyle Martin, which is our second guest, about that. So it's going to be a great show as always, Kaz. I guess as we get ready to bring these guys in, just kind of give me your overall thoughts of Westmoreland County, and I'll kind of talk about Burgettstown, which was the two places we were at.
I thought Westmoreland County was awesome. I said it on the post-match show with Westmoreland Sports Network after the finals. And Chris Smith, Smitty, as you guys know, said it also. There was a couple year stretch where in Westmoreland County, people viewed it as maybe down a little bit. But the past few years, it's gotten back up to the standard that everybody kind of holds it as. I don't necessarily think it dropped, but some people did. But it was as competitive as I've seen a county tournament in a while there. I mean, just a few examples. There was an 8 seed in the finals. There was a 4 seed in the finals. There were 2 4 seeds in the finals. There was a 5 seed in the finals. There was a 6 seed in the finals. And it wasn't like any of those kids pulled a crazy upset along the way. You may see 8-over-1's a crazy upset, but it wasn't. That's just how competitive some of these weights were. So from a competitive standpoint, I thought it was awesome. And then you also got to see your star power as well. Like you got to see Landon Sin, you got to see Cam Baker, you got to see Mario Hutcherson and Elijah Brown and these guys. So all in all, I thought it was a great 2 days at Greensburg-Salem High School. And I know you mentioned Kyle Martin will be on here shortly. Norwin almost, I'll say it, ran away with the team race. It was about a 20 to 25 point spread. And they looked freaking good the whole tournament. They're probably the favorites in AAA after watching that. I mean, it's tough to pick anyone else right now. To me, they're the favorites in AAA.
Yeah, Kaz, I think, just looking at results, obviously, like I said, I was over at Burgettstown, but just looking at results, watching the finals, it seemed like Norwin had a great tournament, and, maybe not necessarily, they had the sit-ins and the high-end guys, but they also had a ton of guys placed on the backside. As you guys can see right there, got 10 medalists, which is, that's something to say, man. And like you said, pretty deep tournament as it's getting kind of back up to where it needs to be.
And they're without a starter too. Santino Brasco didn't wrestle at 215. He's been banged up. I don't know the prognosis there, but he hasn't wrestled in a while, and he would have placed at 215. So,
yeah, it's impressive performance, and to go out and do something for the first time in school history, I love that kind of stuff. So, super excited to talk to him about that. For me, over at Burgettstown, we'll talk more about it, I'd say, whenever we start breaking that down. But, man, the finals were fantastic. I had them on the YouTube channel, so if you guys are out there and you want to go back and watch them, I was really honored to have the Vigilati brothers have me out there, and take care of those again. Like it wasn't like I've had Matt Leeper in the past help me. He was down in Florida with the Can and Mac crew doing their stuff. So I was kind of rogue on it, which was a lot of fun actually. So I had both the Vigilati brothers sit down with me during the finals throughout. I had the mayor of Burgettstown hang out with me, and the finals were great, man. One thing's for sure is it's not really a WPIAL team, but they're pretty close. Grove City's a really good team, man. They have some really, really good hammers at the top end, and they have some really nice kids throughout their lineup. That Caden Painter, I think, was a highlight coming out of the unseeded position and went out and won the finals. I forget what weight. I think it was like 139, something like that, 145, right around there. I had to look. But just impressive stuff from their crew. And Bentworth, of course, took second. They have, a champ there. And, Ivsic was right there. It was a dogfight, which is one of my favorite matches at 160, I believe. McClure won it at 139. So, yeah, it was a great overall, it was a great tournament. And, I think now we can talk about Midwinter May and bring this guy on. That is Mr. Nicholas McGarity. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great, Nick. Thanks for coming on and hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. I guess first things first, congratulations on your title this weekend.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead, Kaz.
So you win the title at Midwinter Mayhem. Just leading up into that bracket, I mean, that has become a really big tournament. I mean, it's kind of like a mini Powerade now. How are you feeling heading into that tournament in a bracket that's probably the toughest bracket you'll see leading up into the state tournament?
I mean, with that stuff, like in the past, I'd get kind of nervous, but like in last year, now this year, like going to these big tournaments, I get pretty excited to get my name out there. I get to wrestle good kids from like all around. Like I think I saw one WPIAL guy at that tournament, so it's it's nice getting to wrestle people that I won't see up until the state tournament or whatever. So yeah, it's real exciting getting to go out there, try stuff against people I never wrestle and everything. Just get to wrestle dominantly. So.
Speaking of dominant wrestling, man, you are a leech on top, my friend. Where's that come from? And, where did you get that part of your game, I guess?
To be honest with you, I'm not fully sure, like where it, like, I mean, I would say a big part of it was back in the day, I used to wrestle for OMP, and there was a high school kid there. His name was, what was it? Alejandro Herrera.
Yeah.
He was
AHR, baby. He was a stud.
He had probably the best call ride I'd ever seen. And at that age, I was probably in third, fourth grade. I'd see him winning state finals 1-0. I was like, and my dad was like, here, watch this. So I started implementing that claw ride when I was little, and then I just always loved wrestling on top. So I always practiced it. And now it's really paying off.
Was there, heading into that tournament, was there a kid that you really wanted to wrestle? Just because, like you said, you only saw one WPIAL kid. Was there any kid outside of the WPIAL that you saw, like, man, I want that match. I want to see where I'm at compared to the rest of the state?
I mean, I wouldn't say I had like a specific name in mind. I mean, I knew going in, like, I don't like to watch a lot of film. I don't like to look up kids, PA wrestling, whatever it is. Because I know no matter who I'm wrestling, I'm going to wrestle it the same way. Like win or lose, I'm going to have the same match. So I just like to go out there and wrestle. I just like the tournament as a whole. I was really looking forward to. Last year we went, I got 7th. I wasn't super happy with that. So I was expecting it to be a tough tournament. But, like I said earlier, like I get excited for the big tournaments, So I was.
And I'm gonna piggyback off that real quick, Delaney. And I find that very interesting because I've heard it the same response from other kids. Some kids say, I don't watch film of my opponents because it gets me out of what I want to do and what I can control. And then you hear other kids say, I do watch a lot of film, and there's no right or wrong. It's just what's your preference. And I find that very interesting. Have you always been like that? You just go into a match like, I don't care what he's going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and it's his job to stop me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very thankful for like my coaches at Peters. If like at the state tournament or bigger tournaments or whatever, they'll do some scouting for me. Um, and they'll come back like when we're in the hotel, they'll be like, "All right, your first match tomorrow, the kid's gonna be solid with hand fighting in neutral, or he has a quick sit out on bottom, so be ready for that." But um, I've never really fell into the big like strategy part where he has a low stance, so I'm looking to be heavy on his head. Like that's never been part of my game, so I just like to stick to what I normally do and where I'm comfortable.
I like that.
Stanford Cardinal.
Yep.
Talk about that.
Yeah, this summer, I was very blessed. Got to have phone calls with many schools. When you're a little kid, you see that and you're like, wow, I can't wait till I'm there. I was finally there. Yeah, there were a lot of great options I had, but when I went out there, saw the coaching staff, saw the wrestlers, like I knew that's where I wanted to be. The coaches, they're fun and everything, but like when it was time to work and practice, they were pushing them, like all the athletes and everything. And then I mean the athletes themselves, like I just like how they wrestle. Like out there, that team's like, they're pretty funky. They're exciting to watch. They're solid on top, and that I feel like that's like very similar to my game. And then I mean, can't beat getting a great like academic school like when I'll graduate with that degree. Can't beat that from there. So it was kind of a no brainer once I actually got on campus and I met everyone.
And obviously, you have to be a great wrestler to go to Stanford, but that is a high level education as well. You have to be a great student to get into Stanford. Um, Talk about your education. Like, what do you want to study? What interests you in high school now? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, honestly,
Lay down.
I'm not I'm not a huge school guy. Like I don't love going to school or anything, but I'm a very competitive person. So, I don't like not being the best at something that I'm doing. So, friends call me, "Hey, do you want to come go out and do this or that?" It's like, I got to study. Or, "Oh, I have to get some of this homework done before I get on Xbox," or whatever it is. So, I do try to stay on top of all my grades and everything, studying. But yeah, my family's very business oriented. My mother was an accountant. My father did sales. My brother's currently going to school for finance. And then at Stanford, they have a great economics program that I'm looking at. But then my like personal choice that I think I'm gonna do is international relations. I've always kind of liked government and politics stuff, so
Hmm.
I think that would suit me pretty well.
Good for you.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that. Diving back into the wrestling one more time, I know that you're an avid goer of Quest. Just talk about them and talk about your coaches at Peters. What's it like to be a part of two great programs like that?
Oh, I mean, it's awesome because I wrestle all week with my friends at Peters. I would never trade that coaching staff for anyone. Like when we're on the mat, off the mat, we're laughing. Like I love coming off the mat after getting that next achievement or getting a big win and just seeing all my coaches standing in my corner smiling. I come off, give me a high five and everything. Like I love that. Um, and then, like I said, surrounded by my friends that I see in school, out of school on the weekends, so it's nice to be able to wrestle with them. But then going to Quest, I mean, every kid that's in that room, like there's no soft go. Like when we're wrestling live or anything, it's good wrestler into another good wrestler. So, that really pushes me. And then having like with having Jim Akerley there, I mean, I've never met a better technician on top. So anytime I have a question about just like a small tweak, he is the answer. So I love going to Quest. That makes a huge difference in my wrestling, especially as the season goes on, because everyone there is the same as me. They all want to win states, they all want to win WPIALs, so they're all very like minded. And then I would say my biggest like help would be I have some private coaches that I work with that, film review, whatever it may be, we bang it out and then I get to go try it at my Peters practice during the week. And then once I kind of have gotten it down, I get to take it out into the real world and wrestle it at Quest against the best kids.
Fantastic
Last one.
answer. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
last one for me, just kind of outside of wrestling. What do you like to do outside of the sport of wrestling? Other sports, hobbies, like little bit into you, the person, and not the wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of free time. I like to keep myself busy. But every Sunday I'm an usher at church, so I get to go there, network with people, all walks of life, whatever it is, meet new people every weekend. But then like Friday, Saturday nights, I don't have anything the next morning. I like to go out, hang out with friends, do whatever, socialize. But then once the weather gets nice out of the season, I really enjoy running. Um, so I'll run. My dad makes me lift, so I get all that done. But I mean, when my brother's home from college, I spend a lot of time with him. We'll lift together, go get food, do whatever. So
Do you play any golf? I know there's some nice golf courses out your way, and we're big golfers.
yeah, no, there's a lot of great golf courses out here. Our high school team's real solid, but it's too slow for me. I played lacrosse up until this year. Actually, I was a big lacrosse player, so that was what I kept busy with outside of wrestling season. But no golf for me. My friends all do it. They want to get me on the course, and I'm like, we'll have to see. I feel like you just get a little too upset when I shank one.
It happens. We've all been there, Nick.
Yep.
Yes,
Hey,
and you do have a great team over there. That shout out Coach Kuhn. I mean, you guys are dogs over there for sure. One of the best teams in the state. I guess really the last thing I have, Kaz, unless you don't have anything else, anything or anyone you want to shout out before we leave you go.
Just family and coaches. I wouldn't be there without my mom making all my food, my dad staying on top of me about my schoolwork, making sure I send texts to my coaches, hey, I'll be at practice this time tomorrow. Hey, can you work on me with this? And then yeah, my coaches when I'm in the room, knowing when to motivate me, when to, take it easy, give me a little rest. So without them, wouldn't be as good as I am.
you brought up food. What's your go-to meal after a big win?
Well, that's a good one.
Uh, uh, my mom gets mad at me for it, but I really like to drink my calories. So if after a tournament, whether I would say I'll give you my top three. Either the end of the milkshake. I love milkshakes, chocolate milk, or a lemonade. I like I love lemonade. Like my mom will get me some sparkling lemonade just to have around. So I really like drinking my calories.
I like
Sarah's,
that.
you go over to Sarah's and get a milkshake and that real thick milk that's over there.
Yeah, no, those take you out. Once you drink one of those, you're in bed for the night.
Facts, Nick.
That's
Facts.
true. That's true.
Nick, thanks for hanging out with us, brother. Good luck the rest of the season. Really appreciate the interview.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks, buddy.
What a dude.
We got a top three out of him.
Wow. And he instantly knew. It wasn't even a
Yeah.
question. He's had this conversation 1,000 times.
I can respect the drinking the calories too. Like sometimes just an ice cold pop just hits or an iced tea.
That's how my brother was. I mean, he was a big Mountain Dew kid growing up, and then he got into a high C whenever, a fruit punch high C whenever we were in high school. But yeah, man, definitely could appreciate a good drink and especially a good milkshake, dude. Like a Burgatory milkshake, all day, baby.
Yes.
All day. But I think a great time to talk about one of our sponsors, that is Quest School of Wrestling. We just heard Mr. Nicholas McGarity talk about his adventures out there and how it's grown to it's grown him as a wrestler. And of course, Jim Akerley is the head man over there. Fantastic stuff in 84 Pennsylvania. Go check them out on questschoolofwrestling.com. Again, one of my favorite dudes, one of my favorite guys in wrestling, Mr. Jim Akerley, just a legend of the sport. And again, like Nick McGarity, you want to get some top game, go see Mr. Jim Akerley out in 84 Pennsylvania. Appreciate your support. All right, Kaz, what do you want to dive into?
So we got Westmoreland County. We have Westmoreland County, it's not Bedford, Burgettstown, and Midwinter.
Yeah,
I know we have Kyle Martin coming on soon. Do you want to hit Burgettstown or Midwinter first, and then we'll do Westmoreland kind of leading up into Kyle?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Let's rip through Burgettstown, I would say. Let's see here. Let me see. Share screen. Bang. see which one it is.
I haven't been to the Burgettstown tournament in a few years, but I
Yeah.
know the Vigliotti brothers always say it's the best hospitality room of any tournament you'll find. Did you get a chance to peek in there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me see. There it is. Boom. I picked the right one, I think. Yes.
Well, I had got a text from Tyler Nauman over the weekend. They were down in Florida at that
Mhm.
tournament. He showed me their hospitality room. They had smoked ribs, smoked brisket. It looked like a wedding that was catered for a professional athlete.
Yeah, I
And
guess
he
that
kept
was like
sending me
their
pictures.
yeah, I guess that was like their Powerade down there for Florida, and they
Yeah,
got invited back. But hey, I love that. I mean, that's you got to have a good coach's room. And yeah, to answer your question, the food was unreal. Big old pile of buffalo chicken dip. I had fried chicken. I had a dude homemade egg roll. I should have
really.
taken a picture. I bet you someone took a picture. Big dude, these egg rolls were huge. I mean, I took a to go box. Like it was a good time over there,
You
man.
got a to-go box.
Of course. He said, we got to
Oh,
go
hell
boxes. I was
yeah.
like, hell yeah, I'm getting one of them. So took some of
You
that
know
home.
it's a good spread when you got to-go boxes at a
Yeah.
wrestling
And
tournament.
we talked about that on the call. Zuri, which is Joey's wife, and forgive me for Louis, I'm forgetting Louis' wife, but both the Vigilati brothers with a slew of other women there, they really take pride in that. And, you know, like I had to have like a special access to get back there and everything. So it was really cool stuff.
That
Yeah,
gym's awesome too.
it is. It's like an old school style, it's kind of like tight, but like it's like spread out. So we were on the corner of the one mat, and like I said, I had the mayor as my color analyst, and then I had both the Vigilantes sit down with me throughout the broadcast, and then I had Wes Phipps, the head coach of Grove City, sit down at the end. So yeah, it was a great time, man. I really enjoyed myself out there. They rolled the red carpet out, and it worked out pretty well. But you look at these finals, like a lot of these men are are double A guys. There's a few triple A teams in here, and a few really interesting matchups. But right here, starting at 107 pounds, and not the last time we're going to talk about a Bonai tonight, but this one being, this one being Angelo at 107 pounds, just kind of blew through this tournament. He's really impressive in the early going here.
They went 2 for 2 in the finals, the Bonnet brothers.
Yep.
I was
Yep.
the kid that Bonnet beat, Carter Baker. He was in the Southmoreland finals
He's good, dude.
as well. Yeah, he's in the mix in Double A at 107. I've seen him a couple times this year. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Carter Baker can go, and Angelo Bonnie, again, kind of the class of this weight. But both these guys, I wouldn't be surprised to see them deep, Bonnie deep in the state tournament, and Carter deep, regional, or even pushing himself to get to the state tournament. Both those guys can definitely go. Let's see here, 114 pounds. Karen Bauer ran through this weight. He's impressive, dude. I know he maybe didn't face the best competition until he faced Ferraro in the finals, and then he ran through him too. He's just impressive. Ferraro really good to make the finals here, but again, Karen Bauer, one of the best guys in the country.
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't surprise either of us if he's the state champ this year. I mean, kid's phenomenal.
For sure. All right, 121.
This was I wasn't there, but when I saw this is when the semis, who was in the semis, I'm like, oh, can we please get an Anderchak and Stearns match? I mean,
Yep.
that's an incredible match there.
Yeah, and I wonder what. Let me see. I'm gonna pull it up here. I wonder what they are ranked. Because they're both high double A. You gotta
Yes.
assume. See if we can pull out some PA power.
Because Stearns is a returning state medalist. Anderchak's a state qualifier.
Right.
I mean, and these two are going to see each other again. There's a very good chance they meet in the state tournament at some point.
And it was a really good match. Anderchak had a really slick, like head inside high crotch, single chase the far sock, and like just flash finish. And Stearns just couldn't really do too much. Dog on top for Anderchak. Just impressive stuff all the way around. But yeah, again, one of those highlight matchups there. I'm trying to see what they were. We'll get to it in a minute, but I like that match a lot. I was impressed with that one. Let's see. Another decent one here. Okay, so that Painter was 127, a little bit smaller than what I remembered. Kind of blurred together on Saturday, but another kid out of Grove City taking out Kosanovic. Kosanovic, good to get to the finals here, beating Ruhali in the semis from North Hills, but just falling a little bit short to Painter again out of the unseeded position. One of the more impressive performances at Burgettstown.
Yeah, that's a name that we weren't quite, quite fond of. We saw Grove City at Powerade, but for him to run through this bracket, credit to him. Kazanovic is obviously super tough. He's the defending WPIAL champ. Um, Grove City's got a team, man. I'd love it if they could join the WPIAL.
They're really close, man. I don't know if they would have to be. It would have to be really tough.
Well, you remember there were those years. There was a 2-year stretch where Altoona was in the WPIAL in football. Now, most of this is football. McDowell came into the WPIAL in football. Farrell used to be a WPIAL team.
They tried to get back in recently, right? And they got
the
denied.
Past 2 years, and they got denied. I mean, shit, dude. Grove City High School and like Laurel and Shenango High School are like 10 minutes. They're 10 minutes apart.
They easily could be their own. And honestly, like what we talked about a lot last year with the combining of the regions and all that, they easily could be merged in there and just create a whole section up north. And
yeah, absolutely. Put them in there with Laurel and Newcastle and those teams. Like, you're gonna get good matches. Laurel's got a heck of a team. Like, I would love to see Grove City in the WPIAL. That would be awesome.
Hope and dream, friend. Hope and dream. But yeah, impressive performance from the young Grove City Hammer there. Okay, moving on up. 133. And again, another Bonai. This one being Antonio, just running through this weight. I was interested to see what he was going to do against Sala. Sala, one of the better guys over there for Mount Lebanon. But man, I said it whenever last week, Bonai wrestled Yannick at the MAC finals. And it was a overtime match, dogfight. But ultimately, dude, Bonai's got these heavy hands, and he can just chase the corner so fast, dude. And that was the difference here. Just so quick, gets on top, dogs him. But Sala is a really good dude. Like, these semis are pretty good, especially on the bottom side. That I was walking in kind of right when that was going on. I was impressed with that match. So not the last we're going to see out of Mr. Sala, but again, Bonai on a warpath right now. All right, dude. Another pretty good one here. Hamilton, I walked in and that Hamilton Serrero match I was really interested to see how that one was going to go. Just because, we talked about Serrero, his impressive go the last couple of weeks. And, Hamilton just a little bit too much. He's a big kid. Serrero's still a freshman. Hamilton, I don't know if he's a senior or junior. He's older. But then you get to the finals, McClure, just the same as what he does, man. He gets on top and he is just a freaking leech, dude. Yeah. And he gets that near ball. He's so good.
Hamilton's a junior, 2-time state qualifier. So
right.
He's wrestling in big matches. And you and I talked about Olympic Serraro Mars last week after he won Max. I haven't seen him wrestle a high school match yet. I know you have a couple times, and you and I talked about it. He's the real deal.
Yeah, he can go, dude. He's got some tricks in the bag that are really, and he's strong for a freshman. It's not like he's out. He's not overpowered. I said Hamilton's just a little bit too much, I think, skill-wise, just being a junior, been there, done that, 2-time state qualifier, like you said. But Schreier's going to cause problems. I mean, he came back, took third here. But again, ultimately in the finals there, Drake McClure, just a little bit too much, especially when he gets on top. I just love some top wrestling, and he's one of the best in the game in double A. All right, let's see here. 145. Another interesting weight class here. Especially you look at the semis. That Dennison and Sipes match, I walked in on that. Dennison was it was a close match, and he just pulled away late, dude. It was impressive. Just kind of used his pace and pressure to kind of get over on that one. That was a good match. And, I wanted to see Patton from Washington. Of course, we love us some Kyle Klein over there with Washington. I wanted to see him punch his way into the finals there, but ultimately Williams there from Cochranton goes out and wins the championship. Braden Williams, just pretty impressive stuff. Dennison tried to come back there late, but ultimately wasn't enough and kind of a back and forth match. And Cockerton's another team that kind of came out of here. I think they were top 3, top 4, 5 team in here. They're another team. What is that up there, Cats? 10? District 10?
That's
9?
10. That's District 10, I believe. I believe they're in there with like Grove City and like
Reynolds,
Reynolds,
Greenville.
Greenville, all those teams. Yeah.
Which is a great little area, dude. They get up for that. Like, I follow a guy up there, Bob Greenberg.
Yes, dude, he's awesome.
Yeah, for game out there, you guys, if you want to follow some high school sports up north, he is the best in the game up there. He is awesome. Like, literally does
Everything. Football,
Yeah.
basketball, baseball, soccer, anything.
Super, super fantastic follow. One of my, like, he covers it all, dude. One of my favorite follows in the game for sure.
Absolutely. He's one of the best. If you have any interest in high school athletics, he's one of the best follows in Pennsylvania.
No doubt, no doubt. And again, we just talk about it right there. Grove City, Hudson Home, and one of the best dudes in the state. Really impressive stuff there to see him go out, make the finals, and he just kind of ran through everyone. One of the best dudes in the room, you know. They call him like the silent assassin. Goes out, does his job, and leaves. That's what Coach Phipps calls him. So I was impressed with him, and you know, I think he's got a really good chance to get towards the top of the podium this year at States. All right. 160. A great match here, man. One of my favorite matches of the day. This Ipsic Gibbons final. These two are just. Gibbons is one of my favorites because he is so good positionally, dude. Like his hands, his hips, great stance, never gets out of position. And that was kind of the difference here. But Ipsic, I was just telling on the broadcast, I'm like, you cannot like leave his kid go because he can launch you on his head, like we talked about him doing at the Powerade blood rounds. Freaking nuts.
Ipsic's one of my favorite kids to watch because you're getting the kitchen sink, nonstop gas tank. But like you said, Gibbons is so good. And the Mount Lebanon tweeted at me over the weekend. I know you as well. Cole Gibbons just made his commitment to New York University. So congratulations to you, Cole, on your commitment and your Burgettstown title.
Yeah, for sure. Great weekend there for Cole. And he also took out Matt Dana in the semis there. Alec Palco was in this weight. It was a really good weight, man.
It was.
All right. Let's see.
Kinsey at 72. This is one of your boys.
Buddy, this match was awesome. Like, you're going to have to go back and watch this match. Like, Louisville Gelati was sitting down with me. It was interesting because I got a little bit of a relationship, not with Cash, but Cash's uncle is my tattoo artist. So I've been talking about Cash for the last couple of years. Good dude. And I was he's like a grown man out there. And these two were like two bulls locking horns, dude. It's freaking awesome. They got a little chippy and neither dude backed down. There's multiple blood times, as you can see. It was pretty cool, man. I really enjoyed the match. Ultimately, Kinsey, too much, dude. He's a dog. And you know, I was talking to Smitty about this. They're a sneaky team that has some really good upper weights.
Armstrong's really good. From 72 and up, they're phenomenal.
Right.
And their lighter weights, they got some guys. Armstrong is a sneaky team. I don't want to give anything away about a duel tomorrow, but Armstrong has a fun duel tomorrow that I will be covering with Westmoreland.
I heard.
And there's going to be some freaking matchups from 72 and up. I can't wait.
Now, this one here, dude, this kid was one of the more impressive guys I saw the weekend, this Musabek. And I'm going to have to get the correct pronunciation because he's certainly earned that much. He is a dog, dude. And he's a judo guy. So I'm like on the call and Louie's like telling me this. He's like, listen, this dude's a judo guy. And, you know, it was a really close match. And Dunlap went upper body and Musabek just launched him, dude. I was like, whoa, there it is.
He must be good because Dunlap's been killing everybody this year.
Yes. Yeah, you look at his way to the finals, man. Tech fall, you know. Let's see here. Well, we got Tech fall up 13-2. Tech fall 7-1 over Malachi Peak. And Malachi Peak, dude, he's another one that I was super impressed with. He's a goer.
Yeah, with Brady Brown injured right now, Peak might be the number one kid in AA. I mean, Dunlap's right in that conversation, obviously, but leading into that, I think a lot of people would have said Peak Peak's the favorite right now with Brady Brown out for a few weeks, but Dunlap's been freaking good, man.
Whew. All right, 215. Another really good kid here from Armstrong, and this match was awesome, dude. And we were talking about like the football, of like all. I don't know if Bradshaw plays football or not, but I was looking up Carlson because I wasn't sure if he was. I know he played football, but I wasn't sure if he was a quarterback or running back. I
Stud.
looked up, bro. I looked up, and the first thing it said it was like 215 and 3 touchdowns in one game. I was like, oh, so he's a goer, dude. He's a stud. Yeah, that's gnarly. And of course, we talked about Leahy. He's had a great last couple of weeks. Goes out and takes third here, and he gets stopped by Bradshaw in the semis. Just a great weight all the way around here, 215.
Absolutely.
All right, finals here. We got Casey Wilson, Colin White matchup. Colin White, dude,
He's freaking huge. I don't know how he makes 285. He's just a large human being.
So big.
I remember him at 215 2 years ago. I'm like, this kid's going to be a heavyweight. He's 6'4", 6'5", put together. Kid's impressive.
And he could go. Like, he
Yeah.
can wrestle in all three positions really well. And he has a gas tank, dude. He's hitting shit at the end of the matches. I'm like, whoa, man. So, yeah, I was impressed with him. And Casey Wilson, another guy that's one of the best guys in Double A. It's not probably – I don't think this is the last time we're going to see these two wrestle.
This could be a WPIAL final right here.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And you could tell these two were getting up for it. You know what I mean? I'm watching them warm up. They were ready for this match. It was definitely a good one. And ultimately, White just a little bit too much. And, man, after placing fourth at Powerade to come out and, keep on rolling, man. He is definitely impressive.
I bet you these two are going to be the 1 and 2 seed at the WPIAL, at the Double A individual bracket.
Oh, I could definitely see that.
Good chance we see that again multiple times. They're both going to be at States.
All right. Let's see here. Sending some stuff over to Kyle. We're going to get Kyle on here shortly. I think it's a good time to talk about our next sponsor. That is D1 Wrestling Club down in Jefferson Hills, Pennsylvania. Snapper, formerly, or affectionately known as Snapper, but James Fleming down there, one of the best guys in the WPIAL, one of my favorite guys to talk to. Just the way he breaks stuff down, he's just like a mad scientist. I call him, dude. He's so smart. And of course he's the assistant coach over there at Upper St. Clair. Just love me some James Fleming, and again, thank you for the support, D1 Wrestling Club. Okay. And I am sending this over, Kaz, and I think I'm going to pull up the Flow Arena just in the background for myself of the Westmoreland County. As we're getting on here, obviously we talked about, 3 champs for Norwin.
5 in the finals.
5 in the finals, dude. You had one guy out. Just impressive all the way around for them. Sid and Butera and White, just give me your overall take on Norwin as we get Coach on.
They're freaking good. Every single kid has a gas tank. That's the one thing. That's the biggest thing that I took from it. Every kid has a gas tank like you wouldn't believe. Butera looked better in minute 5 than he did in minute 1. Same with Jack White. Sid, it's tough to tell how good he is in minute 5 because he never gets there. He beats everybody before that, but it's there. They're phenomenal. Sid took care of business as you knew he would, and did it in great fashion, just like he's done at every other tournament. Butera had a heck of a run. Butera came out of the 4 seed. No, I'm sorry. Butera was the 3 seed, I believe.
I'm looking at him. Well, wait.
And 33.
33. That was
Yeah, he was the 3 seed there. Because Betts was the 8 and had beaten Gavin Murphy of Kiski, who was the 1. Butera looked good. He didn't come out of nowhere, but there's so many big names in the Norwin lineup. Don Butera's kind of been maybe overshadowed, so to speak. But he's not anymore, obviously. And then Jack White and Logan Matrish, that match was one of the better matches of the finals. Not controversial. I mean, referee had hit Jack with a stall call with like 7 seconds left that tied it at 1.
Gnarly.
I wouldn't have called the stall call. I'm not going to go further into it because I could go down a 2-hour warpath of
All right,
maybe.
let's get him on.
Yeah. You know what I'm getting at.
There he is.
Hey,
County champ.
What's up, coach?
First time in school
Not too much.
history,
How you
Mr.
guys
Kyle
doing?
Martin.
Hi. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing well, you?
Good. Good. Real good. Had a good workout today. Feeling fresh.
I guess first things first, man. Congratulations on your championship. How's it feel to get the first title in school history?
Pretty cool. I didn't really do anything. All the kids got all the points. It was fun watching them wrestle. As always, not really like results driven with how I coach. Sometimes I got to catch myself because I get really into matches. Even with, I heard you guys talking about Jack White's match. I'm not even in his corner, but like I feel myself just getting dragged into these matches. So I got to start sitting farther and farther away now and maybe just sit up in the bleachers. I was able to get too close to the mat when I didn't need to at a lot of those matches. But the kids wrestled great. We were kind of focused instead of on the results of just a lot of attitude, a lot of effort, a lot of just like gritty wrestling. We've been trying to hit that home in the workouts the last week or so leading up to Penn Trafford. We saw a little bit of it against those guys, and I think it transitioned and translated a little bit more at the county tournament again. And I mean, our guys are great. They jumped right back into getting back to hard work right after it. They're kind of buying into the idea that, hey, it's really cool that we won the county tournament, but that's just another step in what the bigger goals are. Knowing that was a challenge, great. We accepted it, went through it, and now it's building from that to hopefully get some medals in March. But also saw a lot of development from guys that didn't even make the podium. We got a lot of guys matches there that, some have never wrestled before, and they're on match like 3 or 4, and we saw some jumps with them, which was really cool to see. I have to tell you what, Dave Sidden is just a magic man and so incredible as an assistant coach and incredible with how he sees technique and what he's seeing in a match. And it must be this like genetic code that translated into Landon, because I've seen Landon make adjustments mid-match without any coaching whatsoever. And I think it's just kind of that natural thing. But what's cool now is it's becoming contagious, and I'm seeing guys like Dom Butera start to make those like mid-match adjustments. Luca Butera, I mean, he goes down Friday night. I think I'm gonna get seeds and stuff wrong because I didn't really look at brackets much, but like he got upset seed wise on Friday night, and then he wrestles that same kid I think for 5th and 6th, and kind of scores a bunch of points, right? So it's that idea that we can have some discomfort, we can have some things not go our way, but respond pretty quickly, pretty well, like that closer mentality in baseball. I just got shelled last night. Well, last night doesn't matter, right? The only thing we can control is right in front of us. And I think a lot of our guys showed that kind of grit, with Jack White giving up that stall call while he's sprawling, and then he gives up the stall call. Now, hey, a lot of kids, that might be, man, and then goes into overtime and then gets taken down or gets out of the game. But that showed a lot of maturity. Jack goes back in, he gets to offense, he starts scoring points, and that's kind of what we've been preaching with him. Coach Sidden's been pounding that into him as well the last 2 weeks, and we're going to keep doing that for that March push. So, I don't remember what your question was, but yeah, it was a cool weekend.
Go ahead, Chad.
So about Luca Butera, he had lost to the Kiski kid. He came back and beat him for 5th and 6th,
right,
and scored 17 points in that 5th and 6th place match and won by technical fall,
right,
against the kid that had beat him early. So that, like you had said, that short memory, getting back to it, obviously worked well for Luca. And then Dom, was the third seed, and I thought he was great throughout the whole tournament. Landon did his thing in the finals as kind of everybody expected him to do. He's the best wrestler in the country.
Yeah.
Five guys in the finals. Jack White, you brought it up. I won't go any further. It's tough to get hit for stalling when you're sprawling, but I'll leave that there.
It
I was
happens.
standing right behind you. I know everything that you were feeling. So I won't go into that anymore, but we're on the same page. But I thought the thing that I was most impressed with throughout the tournament, especially in the finals, the gas tanks of your kids. I thought every single one of them, I just told Donnie this, they looked as fresh at the 5 minute mark as they did at the 1 minute mark. And I was really impressed with Nate Klingesmith. Even though he lost that sudden victory in the finals, that was one of the best matches I've seen him wrestle against Firestein.
Right.
He looked great, as did your whole lineup. You guys placed 10 guys.
Yeah. So I appreciate the comment on our like conditioning and our stamina, but like I'm hoping that's kind of known now as like, that's our expectation. We train incredibly hard in the room so that it's fun to go out and compete, and know that you can compete at a very high energy level for 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, right? We can go back, Landon last year had back-to-back weekends where he had to win overtime ride-out matches against Paul Kenny and Bachman, right? And he comes off the mat, and I'll never forget it, where he'll come off the mat and say, I could go and do that right now all over again and feel good about it. And I think a lot of our guys have gotten to that point, and it's understanding that we coach them really, really hard in the room, and it's for their benefit, so that they can go out and compete with, nothing holding them back, right? If there's guys that aren't working really hard in the room, if their stamina's not there, their conditioning's not there, there's always going to be that little like whisper in the back of your head, like, maybe I don't want to shoot right now. I want to save it up for later. We don't want to have that hindrance for any of our athletes. We want them to be free flying. Like, hey, I can shoot in the first a million times. I can shoot in the third a million times. I can shoot in overtime a million times. I can ride guys out. I can hustle and get out on bottom. And that's just, it's the expectation now. It's a non-negotiable for us. There's still guys that push back, right? Because it takes a lot of hard work to get into shape. But the way we do it, it's unique. We train a little bit differently, and it seems to translate to good gas tanks. I was bummed with Klinger's match. I think he wrestled great, but I think again, it's that, man, two guys that know each other really, really well. They train a lot together at Young Guns, and it's that, man, okay, it's a little bit more of a chess match instead of them just coming out pistols blaring. So maybe I think that's what we look at. Maybe, hey, a little more confidence in what you do well. His gas tank was great. He looked good on top, looked good on bottom. And it's just, hey, sometimes you lose those scrambles. Sometimes you're going to get taken down. It happens. It's life. You're not going to win every match you wrestle. But the thing you do next is what is most important. And Nate responded pretty well by going super hard the very next time we got in the practice room. So that's all you can ask for, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess my big question I have for you, we've talked many times of kind of building this stepping stone process to getting here. First title for the school. Pat said it before you came on. He thinks you're the best team in AAA. You guys are the best team in AAA.
I disagree.
So just kind of talk to me about, man, it's wide open this year. More than years past, I think we've had a kind of clear and dominant team. The last few years really has been wide open. So kind of talk about being one of those teams that could potentially be there.
I think it's neat for the kids to be in the conversation. It is neat to be considered like one of those teams that are in the discussion of one of the top teams in the WPIAL. I don't buy into the ranking stuff or anything like that, because with matchups amongst teams, anything can happen. It's still high school wrestling. They're kids. It's a game. Crazy things are going to happen, which makes it fun, makes it entertaining. I do have a little bit of appreciation that Norwin's never had like this type of I can't think of a word for it, but right, in the last 5 years since we've been there, first ever section title, first county championship in over half a century, like that kind of stuff. So getting the kids around and being involved in big matches and having their name put in there with some of the top teams in WPIAL, I think it's pretty cool for the kids. I think they like that. They definitely earned it. I don't know if we deserve to be called one of the top teams in the WPIAL, because right now we haven't earned it. I could see us going out first round WPIAL playoffs, right? We have a big match with Franklin next week. So a lot of stuff can happen. And again, hey, we can do really well, win some big matches, or maybe not. And that's okay too. We're going to go back and continue trying to get as many medalists as we can in March, and hopefully get those guys developed in everything that they want to develop in. So that's kind of big picture stuff. But right now we're working super hard for what's next. And that's St. Mary's on Friday night. It's pretty cool. We're going to wrestle before the Clarion and University of Buffalo match. And then from that point on, the next thing is Franklin, and then whatever happens in the playoffs, and just go from there.
How would you, so with Franklin coming up next week, that's obviously a big goal. And then heading into the team playoffs, you guys have wrestled a very competitive schedule this year, being at Powerade and Beast of the East, the county tournament, you get great matches.
Yeah.
How has that tough schedule prepared you for kind of this postseason run that's going to be coming up in the next 2 to 3 weeks?
That's a good question. I think it just, you have to embrace tough, right? Life is hard, but life also rewards hard. If you're doing the hard things and you're not letting stuff just cripple you, right? Like all sorts of crazy things happen in sports. All of them have personal lives. All of them have academics. It's incredibly tough to be a wrestler. It's tough to be a competitive wrestler. It's tough to be an elite wrestler, right? Especially when you're juggling all those things. And they've done a pretty good job of it. I think when you get your schedule built in with some of those tougher tournaments, you're giving them a chance to face adversity. We could go to some lighter tournaments early on, or go and do that and let, everybody go in and win a bunch of matches, feel real good about themselves, which is great. But what adversity did they face, right? And then how do you expect them to tackle or face some sort of adversity in the end of January in the team tournament if they've never seen it up until that point, right? So I don't think it gives us an advantage over everyone. I just think it gives us an idea of, hey, you know what? Norwood's never been in these situations before, never been in these duels. Now we are. Now we're able to compete at these tough tournaments. We can go to the Beast and win matches, go to Powerade and win matches, go to counties and win matches. So we can be competitive with pretty much anyone, even if everything doesn't go our way, right? So I think that tougher schedule builds a little bit of resilience, lets us see adversity, and they have to kind of figure out how to deal with it themselves. Everyone's going to deal with it differently, right? So the more opportunities they get to do that, I think the more prepared they'll be for, those tougher matches when we get in the late February into March at state. So
I love that. Coach, I guess the last question I have for you, and it's really just talking about, Dave said, and you talked about him earlier, but you have one of the more impressive coaching staffs in the WPIAL. Just talk about, you were in the stands and you wanted to be higher in the stands. Talk about the ability to have that freedom to kind of let your coaches do their thing.
So I've been able to surround myself with coaches that are almost as passionate or just as passionate about wrestling as me. I know that, I teach. I'm a dean of students. I'm a college professor, but like every day I'm wrestling. I'm involved with it. I love everything wrestling provides for our kids. I love what wrestling can do to your life. I love what wrestling can develop in you in like life building skills. And I have coaches that have fully bought into that at the high school. And it's been a blessing to have them there. And listen, they're juggling crazy busy jobs, right? They're all over the place. We move some of our practices to the evening to make sure we get as many people there as we can, because they care. They're athlete focused, they're athlete centered. And I love that they love that being in the fight with the kids, right? And the more and more I can kind of step back, I'm a bruiser in practice. I coach my butt off in the practice room. I'm intense. I'm high energy. I want, lights out effort every single day. So whenever we get to the competition time, I like to take that step back and see, hey, this is what's working when we're doing this in practice. This is what maybe we need to tweak or change up. And to have just like incredible wrestling minds like Coach Sidden, we have Coach Coles there, Coach Smiley, Coach McGinnis, Coach Brentzel, Coach Kenny. We have so many at the high school level just in there chiming in, building great relationships with kids. Like it's really nice to go back and only sit in corners of guys that I ask them, hey, who do you want in your corner? And they kind of let me, or they have their guys, and one day hopefully nobody will need me there, and I can just like stay back and enjoy. It's less stressful back there, but I notice the closer and closer I get to the mat, the more like I want to insert myself into some of the stuff. So as that season wears on, I'll step back a little bit more, but. Man, our coaches are awesome. Everybody gets along. It's like a really cool flowing of ideas. It's really neat to be a part of. It's taken a few years to get to this, to kind of build that culture and change that culture at Norwin. I think we're going the right direction. I think we're still climbing as a team. I think we continue to get better and better as we go, and that's because of all the people that are in there, stressing over it, coming up with practice plans every day. How are we going to get this kid to fire off these shots? How are we going to get stronger here? What are we going to do? In these types of match situations, the more people that I trust and their input, I think the better it is for the kids. And man, I have a coaching staff that's really trustworthy.
So last thing for me, more of a statement than a question. You guys do your service project every year. That's something I've really respected you for as a head coach, and you guys as a program. And you and I lost communication on Saturday. I just wanted to shine a light on, what your program did last week with your Special Olympics Unified Bocce team, having members of the team as captains for your duel. And as somebody who works in education like you, I got my startup in special ed. And I don't think people realize what being surrounded by athletes does for those life skills and special education students. I've seen it firsthand. So credit to you guys for doing that. And to all the other schools out there, surround yourselves with your life skills and your special ed programs. You'd be surprised how much you can learn from those students. I'm going to be donating $250 to your service project for your Unified Bocce program with your service project. But I just wanted to shine light on that, and credit to you guys and you as a head coach for doing that. That's something that hits home with me and is a big part of who I am. So credit to you for that, Coach.
I appreciate it. And as much as like it's a benefit for the unified sports team to be around our athletes, I've noticed it this year, man. It is really cool for our athletes to be surrounded by the unified sports athletes, their perspectives of, life and competition, man. It gives you a little more ability to take a step back and be like, man, yeah, wrestling's important. This is great. We really want to compete at a high level. But at the same time, man, it is really important that we're good people. And we can learn so many lessons of just like finding joy and just the ability to compete, right? Seeing them play bocce ball, we've gone to a couple of their competitions, just like watching the joy in them, just being able to compete, and then them being able to come out and watch us at some of the matches. It's been such a blessing. It is so cool. We're so appreciative of the unified sports team and them being able and open to collaborating with us. It's been a really cool.
Coach, anything or anyone you want to shout out before we leave you go?
Probably like every time I'm talking to you guys, somebody always texts me and says, "Hey, you left me." So this time, no, I'm just gonna say, hey, my parents are awesome. They were really appreciative of the commentary at Westmoreland County Sports. My dad had some rules interpretation questions for me after, right? Those
I think we all did.
He hit me. No, gotta watch because that camera's there. Sometimes you might be
Yeah.
there doing, and so he grounded me there a little bit more. My girlfriend Brittany is phenomenal. We just celebrated our dog's 9th birthday today.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, living the good life. But no, those people kind of keep me grounded, and that's the most important thing. And hopefully, I can get that to be contagious to our kids too. That we can win a lot of stuff, and we can lose a lot of stuff too. It doesn't define who we are. We're just trying to be great people. So I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
Coach, thanks for hanging out with us. And again, congratulations to you and the boys.
Thanks. You guys have a good night.
You as well. Thank you.
Later, Coach. And that was head coach of the WCCA Coaches Tournament champion, Kyle Martin. Awesome stuff, man. I love whenever we have him on. Again, he's like he said, he's the teacher, right? He starts teaching us stuff. I mean, I just love sitting and listening, honestly, Cass.
No, absolutely. Always get great stuff from him. And his kids competed their asses off this weekend. Credit to them.
For sure. All right, Cass, a couple more housewarming notes before we dive into our last tournament of the evening. Let's talk about Fox Run Golf Course. I was over there earlier this week on whenever we had that little hot spell, buddy. Well, hot spell was like 50 degrees. I took NJ, put his rain boots on, dude. He was muddy as shit. It was awesome. He just had a blast running around. I played with an older gentleman. He's from Slippery Rock. It was really, one of those great days. You just meet up with someone on the course, and that was over there at Fox Run Golf Course. And he has a couple specials going on, and one I'm going to read off to you guys real quick. Let's see here if I can find it. Buy $200 in gift cards, get an extra $50 for free. The second promotion they have going on, avoid the full price increase and purchase your full or walking season pass by January 31st. That's the end of this month to pay the last year's prices, 2025. Check out our Facebook or Instagram page for more details, or give us a call at 724-847-3568. All right, Cass, let's dive into the counties. And you were there. You commentated the finals. Were you there all weekend?
Yeah, so I was there all day Friday, and then Saturday was commentating the semis and the finals with the Westmoreland sports crew, Flick, Smitty, and George. So got to see a lot of wrestling all day Friday and Saturday, and it was great.
Yeah, I was really interested to see. I know we talked about the whole night about Norwin and Kyle Martin and those boys winning, but I was interested to see where Franklin Regional would come in. I knew they would be right up there, just falling a little bit short to Norwin there. But let's pull up the.
That's going to be they wrestle next Wednesday. That's going to be a really good duel, Donnie.
Dude,
really good duel. It was great last year when they wrestled.
That's going to be. Is Flick having it? WSN?
Yeah, that'll be covered on Westmoreland Sports next Wednesday.
Let's go. I'm pumped about that.
You're going to make your way out to Westmoreland
County
that night, Donnie?
I might have to. Next Wednesday. Let me see. I had to look at. Is that the 21st?
Yeah, we'll celebrate the Miami Hurricanes national title and then go watch them wrestle.
That's right, dude. I guess I'll give you a little moment. Talk about your Canes. What do you think, dude? I mean, they got Signetti and going against IU, the best team all year by far. They've been the best team.
The Hurricanes are ready, Donnie. They're ready to go. I'm a diehard Hurricanes fan. I was born, raised in Miami. Carson Beck looks good. Mark Fletcher looks good. The offensive line's a bunch of ass-kicking fools, and they got maybe the two best. I'm ready to go. I love your text. You and Coach G down at Fairmont State get me my little pregame semifinal text before the Ole Miss game. Get me a little roundup on a Thursday night. It was crazy.
College boy too. G loves college football, and they're good. I mean,
I probably shouldn't say this.
Stepping the sloth or whatever they call from Ice Age, the memes.
Yes,
for
Carson Beck to a T. Yes,
incredible, and they're like he's just out there throwing dimes. I'm like, he is.
I was at the seating meeting Thursday night for counties, as soon as that meeting was over, I've never driven that fast in my life, and I shouldn't have because I had to get home for kickoff of that game. But I'm excited. It's been a long time as a Hurricane fan being back in this spot. So I'm excited. But honestly, if they were to lose, uh, Indiana would be the team I'd want to beat them because Kurt Signetti's a local guy, and what he's doing with that program is nothing short of remarkable. So yeah, I want the Hurricanes to win, but if they had to fall to somebody, I would want it to be Indiana.
I
But
like
they
it.
ain't. But they're not falling to Indiana, Donnie. Don't you worry.
I'm pumped, man. Well, college football championships like one of my favorite like
Can
events on the sports calendar.
yeah, Miami start a wrestling program, please.
Please.
This
Oh
thing
man,
should
would that
be
be fun?
sick.
We do need some Florida schools down there and pick it up.
Yeah.
All right,
All right,
dude.
back to wrestling.
107. I know we could talk about that a lot too. And then we've had, Tomlin, the whole thing. It's been a wild day. Wild day. All right. 107. Kiesecker over Brentzel. Jack Brentzel, a guy that sneaky, man, really, really good. There's just you said it off the top, and I talked to Smitty about it. The quarterfinals, man, were really sneaky here at this tournament.
They were. McCoy Johnson, Akiski, the 8 seed, upset Luca Batera. Batera came back and ended up beating Johnson later in the tournament. The quarters were really good here. Going to the semis, the McCoy Johnson Jack Brensel match was awesome. One of the better semifinals. But Kiesecker, man, holy hell, this kid's really freaking good, Donnie.
Good, buddy. Good, good, good. Yeah, I love watching him go. I watched him a few times now. I watched him at the Moon Duels, and the kid he wrestled at the Moon Duels took out Bryce Thomas the day before, or the match before. And Bryce Thomas is one of the best dudes in AAA. So I'm like, all right, this Fouts dude's a stud from Palmyra. And I'm like, and he dogged him. I'm not even going to lie. Dogged him, got on top. I mean, he is so impressive. And
he had a good power rate, too.
Yes, really good power rate. Not the only lightweight for Derry that's pretty freaking impressive. Patrick Bolger wins the championship at 114 pounds for Derry.
Yeah, Derry ran it back in these first two weights, and honestly, no disrespect to anybody else, but Bolger really wasn't tested in this tournament. He just wasn't, and it's not a negative on the other kids because Paxton Newell's a good wrestler. Broadwater's a tough kid out of Belle Vernon, and say with Angeliquio, but Bolger really wasn't tested, Donnie. He's that 107-14 there for Derry's probably the best 1-2 punch in AA or AAA.
And you say that a lot, right? Two guys that are kind of close in weight on the same team, and they just they compete with each other every day, train with each other, and these
iron
two are
sharpens iron.
No doubt about it. All right. We haven't done a heavy on the head in a while. I was thinking about that the other day.
We need Coach Troy in here.
I know. You were able to interview him. That was like one of the all-time greats.
I sucked a 2-minute interview out of him.
Incredible.
At the Southmoreland. It was awesome.
Incredible. One of the highlights of the year so far, no doubt. Here's one of the best weights for sure. Obviously, Siddon's, the class of this weight, he's going to be the class of every single weight that he ever enters in high school. But the 2, 3, and 4 guys here, pretty damn good.
Yes. And Raiden Thomas out of Valley is a threat in AA, and Kai Maxwell's no joke either.
Yep.
Siddon takes care of business as, we expected, did it in excellent fashion. He's the number one kid in the country for a reason, and nobody's beating him. Let's be honest. Nobody's going to beat him. He's just so freaking good. We could talk about him for hours. One thing I do want to highlight, the Kapusta Barrett semifinal match. I was on the call for that. Yes. This is probably the 15th time they've wrestled in high school. It's back and forth. Looking back, I don't want to be prisoner of the moment. I would say probably the match of the tournament.
Ooh.
That, and there's one other one that I'm going to bring up when we get to it. That is also
archived. Does Flick have these archived?
Yeah, you can go back on Westmoreland Sports and watch these.
Watch the semis.
Yeah, that semis match was freaking awesome. Barrett and Kapusta wrestle a very similar style. They're nonstop. And Barrett came out on top of match number 15 with Kapusta. Got a takedown late. Not, I should say late in the match. It was third period. But it was a great match back. Exactly what you would
It
expect.
was late, 33 seconds.
Yeah, exactly what you would expect out of Barrett wrestling Kapusta. And then you win that, and then you end up running into the buzzsaw that is Landon Sidden. But that was one of the better matches, that semifinals. And Titus Colangelo, I mean, he's a threat in AAA. We've seen him for 2 years now, Donnie. He's nothing to be, taken lightly as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Really good weight here at 121 pounds. All right, 127 pounds. Cam Baker for Burrow goes out and wins, I believe, his third WCCA title, right, Kaz?
Yes, that was his third county title, Baker out of Burrell. Did it just similar to Sidden. I mean, look at the score and timestamp. I mean,
Oh, boy.
Sidden was a 21-6 tech in 144. Baker was a 21-5 tech in 128. So they did it in very similar fashions in the finals.
And DeSantis is no joke, dude. Like, one of my favorite dudes to watch go in AAA. Like, he has a high motor, high gas tank, but Cam Baker ready to go.
Yeah, DeSantis has been great all year. But Baker looked exceptional. It was Baker's first time at 127 this year, been up at 33. Looked really good. And the Klippa, I was anxious to see the Baker and Klippa match because Klippa's really starting to come into his groove. This seeding, Klippa ended up taking third, I believe.
Yeah.
I thought if Klippa was on the bottom side of the bracket, he had a really good chance to make the finals. But that's how the seeds came out. But yeah, Baker looked really good.
All right, 133. Another weight class where the seeds got blown up, and we talked about it with Coach Kyle Martin, but Don Butera out of Norway goes out and wins the championship out of the 6th seed.
Yeah, Butera was incredible all tournament. He's gas tank beyond belief. He's heavy-handed. He's big and strong. He looks like a 52-pounder. He looked great, and he looked really good in his championship bout with Yusuf Betts out of Valley, who going into that match, Betts was probably the hottest wrestler at the tournament. With what he had done. They don't give an OW at this tournament. But going into the finals, if Yusuf Betts would have won, he would have been my vote for OW. Just being the 8th seed. But Butera, man, holy hell, did he look good in that finals match, 13-3. And we talked about it. Butera maybe a little overshadowed with some of the other names in that Norway lineup, but not anymore. The kid's good. But I said, I'm sorry, Kapusta and Barrett was the match of the tournament. If there was a second, it was the Betts Murphy quarterfinals match.
Quarterfinals, dude. What a dogfight, man.
It was an absolute, Donnie, the match from start to finish, the match was about 25 minutes. Yusuf Betts' eye is like out to here. He had a cut in the match on the side. It was bleeding. By the time he wrestled Butera the next day, eyes completely swollen shut. At the same time, his eye gash is open. I look over, and I was in the middle mat. There is 1.5 pounds of blood on the mat. Murphy splits his head open at the very top. Murphy's a blonde-haired kid. It looked like he was a redhead. That's how much blood was there.
That's incredible.
They taped him up. They used every freaking second of blood time. Murphy goes and gets staples that night, finishes the tournament. So in that match, Murphy gets staples. Betts could have used a stitch, but his eye was banged up. It was an absolute war. I didn't want to crown a winner or loser because they absolutely got after each other. Go back on Westmoreland Sports and just watch that match. It was absolutely incredible.
Oh man, is the quarterfinals on there?
It was. Oh shit, no, just semis and finals.
Dude. I was gonna say, if you're telling me the quarterfinals, I got a lot of stuff to watch. But
if somebody from Kiskier Valley has video of the match, or if Greensburg Salem had their huddle cam running, I need the video because it was awesome. They looked like they both just got out of an absolute war, and they did. It was the definition of a hard-nosed match. Betts' face is wrapped. Buter's head's wrapped. There's blood everywhere. It looked like a WWE steel cage match. It was awesome. Credit to both of those kids.
Freaking awesome. All right.
But Buter
133.
stole the show at that weight.
Yeah, for sure. 133. Man, one of these guys here, I love me some Chase Smith going out and getting the championship. The number 1 seed in a tough match over Jacob Stewart from Burrow, but good to see Chase Smith get on top of the podium here, Cass.
Yeah, having a really good year. Him and Stewart was a very good match in the finals. The Stewart Pollock semifinals match. Pollock was a very gritty 1-0 win out of Stewart. That was on my match. And then by score, Chase Smith over McNeil was kind of lopsided, but the McNeil freshman is really tough out of Derry. But like we said about some other ones, Smith being a junior, he's been there before. He's been in these bigger moments. But Chase Smith looked great. This is kind of where Franklin Regional went on a little bit of a run here in the finals.
Yeah, and good to see Brooks Blasco come out and take third after falling in the quarterfinals. Yeah, it was a really good weight here. Stewart, Pollock, I love this. And
another
said,
Norwin wrestler in Blasco. Blasco came back and avenged that loss in his place bout to McNeil who had beat him earlier in the tournament.
Then, as you just said there, Kaz, Franklin going on a little bit of a run. Firestein, as I was corrected once, or Smitty was corrected, goes on and gets the championship here at 145 pounds. Some tight matchups in the semis and finals over Halstead and Klingensmith, but nonetheless goes on and gets his hand raised and gets his county title.
Yeah, Ruane's looked really good. I'm sorry, not Ruane. Firestein looked really good. That overtime match with Klingensmith, sudden victory, was a really good match. Another tough young Firestein's only a sophomore, but he looked really good here, as did Klingensmith.
All right. 152.
Mike Ruane, major decision win in the finals. He placed at Powerade. Kind of been the catalyst so far this year of that Franklin Regional lineup, if you ask me. Curran's a tough freshman out of Norwin. I know we didn't really talk about him with Coach Martin on here, but Noah Curran is only a freshman out of Norwin. But Ruane did what he needed to do in this weight. The Curran Bertucci semi went to ultimate ride out, 2-1 there. And then didn't see it much at the tournament, but have to give a little shout out to Liam Jones of Burrell. Was unseeded in this bracket and ends up taking fourth, losing to his teammate Julian Bertucci, 4th, 3rd, and 4th. So credit to him, unseeded the placing. You don't see that often, even in a smaller 16-man bracket here. So credit to him. But this was a top heavyweight. Ruane, Bertucci, and Curran. Those are three guys that'll all be at the state tournament and have a really good chance to have a medal around their neck.
Dude, you're not kidding about Liam Jones. What did he do? 4 or 5 wins to get the 3rd and 4th on the backside?
I believe he lost to Ruane early, and then I think he won 4 straight to get to the 3rd and 4th place match, or won 5 straight. And he beat some kids along the way that are good wrestlers.
That's awesome. All right, before we do 160 pounds, we're halfway through at WCCAs here. I'm going to play the next file we have for you guys, the next sponsorship.
Is not game day without Pizza Bosa. Perfect for the family and the guys. Right next door to the PPG Paints Arena in downtown Pittsburgh. Dine-in, pickup, and delivery available from 10 a.m. to midnight. Stop by 741 5th Avenue or call 412-575-7575.
And that was Pizza Bosa. Let's play one more for you guys. Our friends over at Reversal Health and Wellness.
Hi, my name is Antonio Reyino, owner of Reversal Health and Wellness. I've been in healthcare for nearly 20 years and seen the effects obesity can have on someone's health. That's what inspired me to offer GLP-1 therapy at Reversal Health and Wellness. New evidence-based research has shown remarkable benefits of the therapy, including reversing fatty liver disease, improvement of sleep apnea, and slowing the progression of heart and kidney disease. And unlike national online companies, you won't get lost in the mix and you're not just another number. You'll receive a personalized treatment plan tailored to your goals and your health. And if you're not near Newcastle, Pennsylvania, no worries. Telemedicine options are always available. Also at Reversal Health and Wellness, we offer IV hydration therapy. We offer 7 different IV cocktails infused with nutrients designed to restore balance, boost energy, and support optimal health. Rather, if you're an athlete training for a competition, or a fatigued mother or two, or recovering from an illness, IV hydration will benefit you. We're located in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, on Wilmington Road at the Maison Building. You can either book online or call the office. Thank you.
All right. Where are we at here? Remove. Bingo. All right, Cass, let's dive back into it. 160 pounds here at Westmoreland County. Another Norwin boy here. We talked to him about him with Coach Martin. Jack White, the number 1 seed, going out and getting the championship over Maastricht from PT.
Yeah, White was leading this whole match. I'd said it earlier. White was hit for a stall call with about 7 seconds left that tied it at 1. I didn't like the stall call. I'll leave it at that. But he got the job done in tiebreaker 2. Just a gritty performance after that. I interviewed him, right after the match, doing the post match, and he was like, "Holy heck!" He goes, "That was he was fired up, but he wasn't tired, but you could tell he had just been in a battle because Maastricht, was pedal to the metal the whole time. So credit to Jack White for that. We found out after he's a big Taco Bell guy. Smitty always asks what their go-to meal is after. He goes, "I'm all Taco Bell." So I hope you enjoyed your Taco Bell there, Mr. White. I may have had it in the past few days as well.
Low Crunchwrap Supreme action. There you go. Good stuff. All right. 172 pounds. One of the more impressive guys. Oh, my goodness. Go ahead.
Yeah. 15-0 tech for Horwat in the finals. Horwat out of Derry, that is. Looked really good in this tournament. He wasn't really tested much. Cotullo in the semis gave him the score. It ended up being a major. But Cotullo got a couple takedowns in that match, battled him. But other than that, Horwat really wasn't tested. And again, it's not a disservice to the kids he was wrestling because there's some talent in that weight. He's just on a different level, Donnie. He just is. I don't. It's going to be tough for somebody to put a match together to beat him within the WPIAL. He's going to get some competition at the state tournament, but he's the class of that 72-pound division in the WPIAL without question.
Yeah, another hammer that is going to Pitt. Of course, has some good blood there with Mickey Philippi. I'm sure he gets beat on by his uncle all the time, which talking about one of the best to ever do it in the WPIAL. I'm sure you can't do anything but get better there. All right, and then talking about another superstar. But man, really, really good finals here. Mario Hutcherson over Hunter Snyder, 4-3.
Yeah, two on paper. One of the premier finals here. The premier
one. Place winners, right? I mean, hammers.
Yeah, the premier one will be the next weight we talk about. Snyder going to Pitt. Hutcherson's still only a sophomore, which is crazy because how good he is, especially at that weight. You don't see I mean, he's a young kid. He's a sophomore in high school. You don't see kids at those higher weight classes with the success as much as you do the lighter ones. And Mario's right there. He's really, really good, obviously, and so is Snyder. So it was cool to see those two compete. I know they competed at Powerade against each other just about a month ago. But that was, I think everybody in the gym knew these two were going to be in the finals. Everyone was anticipating it. And Mario gets the job done again over, a seasoned veteran Snyder. This is his third year now. We've seen Snyder win a lot of big matches, but so is Hutcherson. I mean, he was a world team member for a reason. So credit to these guys. Won't be the last time we see him wrestle. So we'll probably see it multiple times. But yeah, Hutchison, a nice 4-3 win over Snyder here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Definitely one of the matchups I was really intrigued to see what happened there. And then again, wow, Elijah Brown says, I'm back. I'm ready to go. Goes out and gets a 10-0 major decision victory over Cooper Roskowski.
Yeah, this is a rematch of the state finals last year. I mean, county finals, WPIAL finals, regional finals, state finals. They've wrestled like 5-6 times last year. And Brown gets a 10-0 major over Roskowski of Kiski. Similar to Snyder, you're gonna see him wrestle a bunch more this year. Brown looked really good at it when we had interviewed him after the match with Westmoreland. We had all kind of agreed that was probably the best match we've seen Elijah wrestle in high school, especially when he's wrestling Cooper Roskowski, who's a Division I kid.
It was hot as ever. I mean, wrestling was so good.
I mean, we're a month ago, Cooper Roskowski beat Kendall Hoare, who was ranked number 1 in the state at 215 from Du Bois. Hoare had just beat Brown the week before. Roskowski goes and beats him, majors him, and then like an hour later they wrestle North Allegheny and they bump Roskowski up and he beats McConaughey, who was the number 1 heavyweight in the state. So yeah, Cooper Roskowski's pretty damn good. This was definitely the highlight, man. You get the state champ and state runner-up wrestling each other. So obviously that's going to get a lot of attention. Again, we'll see it again, but credit to Elijah Brown. He looked really good in that match.
Was he the O-Dub?
They don't award an O-Dub.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna get you on your soapbox. That's trash, man. You should award an OW. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it means something to the kid, and I like it. And if I had an OW, I don't know who I would have given it to. I mean,
Sidon did get his 100th win. He ran through a really good bracket.
Sidon ran through a good bracket, got his 100th. That would be a candidate. Baker getting his 3rd title would be a candidate, and then Brown, because of his performance and who he had to wrestle, would be the other candidate for me, at least. But it's crazy as it sounds. David Peters of Salem, who won it at heavyweight, a name that a lot of people don't heard of, he won it from the 6th seed. So I'd be a fool to not at least give him the respect that he deserves and say, maybe he deserves a vote. But I think it would come down to Sidon, Brown, and Baker for me.
And talking about David Peters. Yeah, talking about David Peters, again, the 6th seed goes out and wins the championship at heavyweight. Man, impressive
in his
stuff
home
out
gym.
of the Greensburg State. Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. The home gym, and, Greensburg, Salem has not been like what they've been in some years past and things of that nature, but they've always had a couple really good individuals, especially at the heavier weights, I feel like, and he's definitely one of those guys.
Yeah, he looked great in his finals match against Shannon of Southmoreland, who's, on paper, Shannon's kind of in that top tier of heavyweights in AA in the WPIAL. But Peters just entered his name into that tier based off of what he did in this tournament. Little interesting fact about him, talking to Drake D'Angelo, who's the athletic director at Greensburg Salem. Peters is newer to the sport. I want to say he started in junior high. He starts on the football team, plays in the band at halftime. He's a 4.0 student. plays 5 instruments, and it's just all around a really good kid. And if you would have seen the excitement out of him when the ticker hit 0 of that match, the whole gym was on their feet. You know, he's the hometown kid in that gym, and we interviewed him for about 5 minutes after, and the appreciation he had for his coaches, you know, Coach Parsley, who's I feel like Parsley's been the head coach there for 40 years. Coach Hutchison and those guys, was a very well spoken. You could tell how much that meant to him. But going into it, Donnie, I had thought that this was the most wide open weight. I didn't think there was one guy that separated himself from everybody else. And Peters is the one who found a way. Norwin has 2 heavyweights here that are both good. Fairley, who's a freshman, and then Somerville, who's a junior. It was wide open. Montgomery, I think on paper, people would have thought Montgomery was the favorite here. But everybody was so close here. And John Montgomery.
I mean, well, yeah, because look, you got Montgomery losing in the quarterfinals, but then he avenged that loss for 3rd and 4th over Alex Akerley of Kiski.
Yes, he did. And that was there was, I don't want to say controversy, but there was a bunch of there was a lot of stall calls in the match. I didn't watch it. It was a little bit wild. I know both coaching staffs were talking to the officials, and there were some like weird stall calls. I don't know. I was on another mat working there, so I didn't see it. But credit to Montgomery, you know, he came back and avenged that loss there. But Akerley had a good tournament as well for Kiski, and just like we say every year, death, taxes, and Kiski as a heavyweight. It's just that's how it goes. That's how it goes. They always have a heavyweight, and when Akerley graduates in 5.5 months, they're going to have another heavyweight next year, and he'll be ready to go, just like Akerley and Stone Joseph and Shane Coon. And I know I'm forgetting Isaac Reed, Kreider. They breed heavyweights. And I know Coach Heater and Keeler freaking love it.
They do. Yeah. And that heavyweight high, baby. They love that. I mean, it is definitely some good stuff over there. I love what Kiski, all their upper weights. And
I'm excited to see some heavyweights tomorrow. Kiski and Armstrong.
Dude, I was just going to tell you that
and
over there.
Akerley.
I mean,
let's go.
Smitty called me and he was like, dude, what do you think about like Kiski and Armstrong? I was like, honestly, that's sneaky. Because like I watched the Armstrong boys go. Both the Kinsey brothers are up there at the bigger weights. You have, of course,
Bradshaw,
and then their heavyweight for Armstrong, they're
Rearick,
number 1 in the WPIAL last year. So yeah, it's gonna be good stuff.
And we all know Kiski in those weights, dangerous, pretty freaking dangerous. I'm excited for that match tomorrow. It's gonna be really good and a cool event. It's like a salute to service night at Kiski, where the junior highs are gonna wrestle. Then the Kiski girls are going to wrestle the Franklin Regional girls. And then that is going to be followed by the Kiski boys versus Armstrong boys. So they're doing a big kind of salute to service night at Kiski that will be live on West Portal Sports Network tomorrow.
See if I can figure out how to do this. Good comment here from, let's see, Mr. Chad Ott. Good stuff. Ott, 215, unseeded 3rd place after a riddled injury. 10 months, of course I'm biased, but I love that. Dad, shout out for his son, Mr. Ott. And again, the Ott
Kale
family,
looked great.
Yes.
Kale looked really good in that tour. I got to talk to Mr. Ott there. A friend of mine, I love seeing him. I had to yell at him. He was standing in front of there's 110 degrees in the gym. There's one fan and he's standing in front of it. We all know Mr. Ott's a 6'5" in shape guy. He's taking out and said, hey buddy, how about you get out of the way of the fan, man? Like, let us have some. But no, the Ott family are good people. Kale's been kind of injury ridden for the past year, but he's back on the mat for the first time and looked pretty freaking good. I will say this, he's his son Owen's home from UPJ, and we got to see Mr. Enoch was there, and he goes, all the boys are home. I was like, how do you feed? Like, if Enoch comes over with both of your boys there, because Kale wrestled 160 last year. Now he's at 215. Like, how do you feed these kids?
And then his older brother, Ott, right, who wrestles
Yeah,
at
Owen's
UPJ,
home
who's
at
a monster too.
UPJ. Yeah, it's like they go back to school. You save 200 a week on groceries.
Facts. That's fantastic. No, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure he
good
loves it
people.
though.
Good people.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Midwinter is the last one we got to talk about, Kaz. Let's see. All right, buddy. And we're not going to touch on this as much just because, not a lot of WPIAL schools here. There's like 10 or 15. But, I mean, normally I think we try to have Matt Taylor from the other side of the state on. And I did forget about shooting him a text. So, Matty T, if you're out there listening, I apologize, but I probably should have gave you a call. See what you're doing tonight. Because normally, we see a ton of teams from the middle and out east for this tournament. All right, buddy. 107 here. It's good to see Michael Johnson make the finals. Of course, a guy that I am super tight with. His coach was my head coach in high school. His son, Michael, really wrestling well, but ran into a complete buzzsaw. And one of the best guys, I think, in the entire country in Cooper Deputy. But yeah, Michael Johnson looked good down a weight class here at 107 pounds. All right, buddy. See, Joey Sinan, I think, placed here as well.
Yeah, from NA.
Yep. So yeah, couple placers there for, and 107 pounds is another one of those deep classes here. Nick McGarity, of course, we talked about his performance with him when he came on the show, and two other WPIAL boys get on the podium here. Zach Rehack from TJ in a slim 1-0 loss to McGarity from Peters, and then also Lucas Carson takes 8th there for West Allegheny. Good to see him get on the podium. But yeah, that 1-0 semifinal, man, that's a highlight, and we're probably going to see that one again.
Yes.
All right, 121. Let's see. No WPIAL love here. Interesting to see Keegan Bassett come back and take 5th.
That weight's disgusting.
I was just gonna say this weight is nasty.
Oh, Preston Bubash of EF took 8th.
Okay, there you go. Bet. Yep, I didn't see that. And a guy that I should have noticed there, but your boy Alex Moses, of course, one of our great friend of the show, texted me about him like first thing of the year last year. He was like, "Hey, buddy, you're gonna watch this Andrew." I think it was Andrew checking Bubash, or forget who Bubash was wrestling, but one of the best guys in the WPIAL, and it was just like a dogfight. He was like, he's gonna be one of the best guys in the state and in the WPIAL. I'm like, all right, Bubash, gotta highlight that dude. So shout out to Moses. Of course, I know he's one of your best buddies too.
Great kid.
All righty. 127. Deputy goes out and wins this championship. Sloboda falls to Albanese in the semis. Comes back and takes 3rd. But a guy that I'm sure both you and I agree we fully expect to finish high on the state podium, as he's done his whole career. A guy that's going to pit as well. The only one, yes. All right, 133. Will Detter of Trinity goes out and wins the championship here. A guy that I've been impressed with a few times. Was able to watch him at CWA, then at Powerade, but he goes.
I believe that's a Powerade. I believe Dieter beat Milliard in the Powerade finals.
Ooh, I'd have to go back and remember.
I'm almost positive.
Cedar Cliff. That's a dog. I mean, both these dudes. I love Will Detter, and he's going to. I was talking to Derek Caldwell, who runs the CWA. He's going over to Northwestern.
Yes,
which is really cool. All right, 139. A really good weight class here. Herndon, Wenner, Guineau, McDonald, McMullen. No WPIAL love here, but good weight class. And again, maybe we kind of burying the lead. This tournament's not Powerade, but damn, dude, it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Hair,
just
he's a monster. Like he
Yeah.
needs talked about just in himself. He is.
yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It's out Matty Taylor's way.
Yes, yes. He loves his brand hair, and of course the older brother Connor hair, both the hair brothers, and he is like he reminds me of Ty, dude. He's like them long,
Yes.
lanky arms and so freaking good on top. And yeah, he's an issue. All right. 152. A Whip Your Boy makes the finals here. One of my favorites, Griff Reed. Pretty good tournament to get there, man. 4-0 over Drake. Tex Weaver in the semis just falls a little bit short to Kimmy in the finals. But Reed, a guy that I think both of us agree is going to be right there to go to the state tournament. I fully expect him to have a good chance to place as well.
Yep, and Slovic out of West A.
Of course, I missed him. I was running down the list too fast. And a guy that, man, he's been plugging away at it. And super pumped up to see him get on the podium at a tournament like this, man. And I talked to Coach Troy, a lot of ups and downs for the West A boys this weekend. I'm sure he would have hoped for a better place, but I know that they took 7th, I want to say, and I think North Allegheny took 5th. Was the 2 highest placing teams out of the WPIAL there. And again, like, Norwin can't go to that tournament. Well, they could, I guess, but a lot of these teams had counties and, it's far drive for some other schools on the west side of the city. But yeah, really good tournament there for Griff Reed and Slovic as well. All right, 160. We got here Boyer from EF goes out and takes 6th. Another Elizabeth Forward hammer there. I believe that's it. Melvin Miller just continued his path, man. And these two were what, 1 and 2 in the state or something like that?
I believe so. Yeah, Ballard in AAA, but it's it's pretty impressive. 19 points on Gabe Ballard.
Yeah, and how many escapes? You know what I mean? It's not like
Right.
he gave up a takedown or 2 in there, but definitely a dominant performance. All right, getting on up there. 172. Little Carter Chlebov. That's an interesting name there for Northampton. Northampton, an interesting school to come out. They're all the way out there in like the Lehigh Valley, right?
Yeah, District 11, Lehigh Valley.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple Lehigh Valley. I think Parkland was out there too.
Yep, you're right. But yeah, so what, Northwestern Lehigh, is that what that is? And
yes, Northwestern Lehigh. Yeah, Northwestern Lehigh.
All right. Where we at? Couple here, Zach LeBard, Nez Green. 2 guys I'm sure we're going to see a lot of, and I feel like we've talked about Nez Green for like, he's one of those dudes that had been around forever,
Yes.
buddy, All right. 215. Kendall Air goes out and wins the championship. Super impressive there. Do not see any other WPIAL love there. And the big boys.
Got a couple here.
Yes, sir. And, a match here that we've seen a few times. Cam Dana, Braden McConaughey.
I put that in the Caboose the Barrett conversation. I feel like those 2 wrestle 5 times a year, Donnie.
Yeah, I think this is the second time I think this year, and at least 3 or 4 times last year. So yeah, they have gone back and forth, and 2 guys that have been young heavyweights. You know what I mean? So that's why they've wrestled so many times, and you don't really see young heavyweights at that high level. 2 guys that came in pretty much at the same time and just been rolling the heavyweight division for the WPIAL since they've started.
I think they're both career heavy. I mean, Dana's definitely a career heavyweight in high school. I think McConaughey is as well.
I believe so. They're both built like brick shit houses. You know what I mean? Just big freaking loads of boys.
Both good football players too.
Very, very good football players. And Cam Dana's pretty smart too. So gotta love that as well. But yeah, I gotta love the WPIAL love there at 285, and that will do that.
Where you go tomorrow, Donnie?
Buddy, that's a good question. I'm not 100% sure yet. I got to figure out what I have going on, see before I got to take the kids and, see what I got going on for the day. But yeah, so it'll be something. If not, I'll be tuning in at Westmoreland Sports Center. Like, that's for sure. How many? You guys have one or two duels?
We have two broadcasts. So we'll have the one at Kiski, and then Smitty and I will be at Kiski, and then George and Uncle Jeffy Shaw will be Frankfurt Regional at Penn Trafford.
Yes, that's
So
a great one too.
Yeah, two different streams tomorrow. On the Westmoreland Sports. Two section duels, two competitive section duels, and a nice kind of salute to service night at Kiski. So should be a good night of wrestling at those two locations as well as everywhere else in the WPIAL.
Absolutely. And it always is a great time on the Wednesday call there. We got counties this week out at Allegheny side. There's a couple different tournaments going on this weekend. So go out, support these kids, watch these kids, man. They grind all week for these opportunities to showcase their skills. So guys, I know you'll be locked in over there. I'll let you know what I'm doing at some point. But for now, my friend, I guess I'll see you next week. Good luck tomorrow, and can't wait to watch some great wrestling.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And again, always a pleasure being on here. Great show, as always, Donnie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for hanging out with me, and thank you guys for hanging out with us. We've gone for about an hour and 45 minutes. You guys know once we start rolling, that's it, man. We just we don't worry about that time clock. We just keep on going. So one of our longer shows, but we're just getting warmed up. I know we got a 3-hour in us at some point, Cass.
Yeah, individual WPIAL tournaments, it's always 3 hours.
Yeah, it's a gnarly one. But that is all the time we have for you guys. We will see you next week. For D Hall, for Kaz, later.